A Window in Wilmington First. Governor Jack Markell is here with us. He has unveiled his proposal for economic development incentives and other benefits that will help revitalize downtown areas in Delaware cities. The governor is also working to ensure students who would succeed in college are able to go while ensuring students also have the option of pursuing an accelerated career path that starts right after high school. The governor joins me now to tell us all about it. Hello, Governor.
How are you?
Fine. And this is truly a first. Are you happy to be here?
I'm delighted.
Yay. I'm glad you said you better say that.
Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about some of the great things that you're doing in the state of Delaware. Of course, we want to talk about the great things that will be happening in the city of Wilmington, but I thought it was really good that you're working to have this whole revitalization plan, in the cities. And I guess, what would that be about? So what can people expect from that?
Okay, so we're calling them our downtown development districts. It needed legislation, and that has already passed, and it needs some money in the budget, which I'm hopeful will pass, and here's how it would work. We recognize that across the country, in the 60s, 70s, a lot of people moved from the cities to the suburbs. More recently, in the last few years, in a lot of places, people have been moving back into cities. It's really important. I mean, I think, for the state of Delaware to be strong, our cities, our downtown areas, including Wilmington, also have to be strong. And so what we want to do is we want to provide incentives for more development in our downtown areas. So across the state, cities will have the opportunity to apply for a designation as a downtown development district. It'll be a competitive process, and it'll be based on need and the quality of the plan that the city puts together, and any local incentives that they might offer. Could be financial, could be speeding up timing for permitting, that kind of thing. But if a city is designated as a downtown development district, it means developers in that area, could be a single homeowner, could be a Habitat for Humanity, could be a for-profit developer, would have the opportunity to have a portion of their expenses reimbursed. And so this is modeled off a program in Virginia, which was very successful in bringing in lots of private money to follow the relatively small amount of public money.
I know all the cities in Delaware have different issues that they will face during this whole revitalization project. Wilmington kind of has probably one of the ones that's mostly on the forefront is the crime issue. So how do you think you'll work to deal with that first?
So crime really has to be addressed from a few different arenas. I mean, certainly policing is important, but that's not the only thing. It's really about doing what we can to make sure that people have better access to jobs, people who are, on substances, having access to treatment and the like. But we also believe that if we have more people living in the city, it can make a huge difference in terms of encouraging restaurants and retailers and the like to open up shop. And if you look at Wilmington now, you look at Lower Market Street, 10, 15 years ago, a lot of it was boarded up. Now all those apartments are fully occupied. There's retail that's opened up. It's really actually very exciting, the riverfront as well. And so Wilmington and other cities will have an opportunity to apply, not to designate the entire city as a development district, but they'll have the opportunity to designate a particular place, and that will be up to Wilmington and to the other cities.
Well, since you're the governor, let's just ask you, if you had to pick something to put in Wilmington, what would you like to see coming to Wilmington?
I think what's really most important is to get people living here and working here and shopping here and the like. But how that is going to be arranged is really up to the local municipality. We're not trying to dictate how the municipality should put together their own development plans. But I think in the end, what they'll have in common is to get more people living, working, shopping, eating out, for entertainment and the like in our downtown areas.
Now, I know you said you're not trying to dictate how they should put together, but will there be some kind of plan in place maybe to guide them?
There's an application process which they'll fill out, but we are really not trying to prejudge what the best plan is. We think the people who live in a community are going to have the best ideas about what kind of development should take place, as opposed to trying to determine that at a statewide level. That would be a mistake. We have to review all the applications and make some decisions based on the items that I talked about before, need, quality of the plan, and the like. But in terms of the contents of the plan, that's really best left to the local areas.
Now let's talk a little bit about the school, because now that's a great issue, and we've been on a big educational campaign here at WITN, and I have to ask you, while the state's dropout rates have improved as a whole, Wilmington's still kind of a little bit behind the eight ball. So what do you think that should be done to kind of bring everybody, the students in Wilmington, up to the rest of the students in the state?
You know, if you look at some of the progress that's been made over the last few years, there's actually quite a bit of it, and there are some great options in the city that weren't available, you know, some years ago. Some of them being new schools like Eastside Charter School or Edison or you know, Prestige or Coombo, which is doing a great job. There are others that are coming in, and some of the traditional schools also making improvements. I mean, Howard being a great example of a city-based school, which has seen real improvement. But we're particularly excited about the work that's gone on in terms of early childhood education, and over the last couple of years, significant increase in the number of low-income children across the state, and including in Wilmington, who are now attending the highest quality early childhood centers, and that's really a game changer for them. Lots of improvements in the K-12 system, and then at the college side as well. We had an initiative this year, we called it Getting to Zero, where we wanted to make sure there are a lot of students in Delaware and across the country who would be capable of succeeding in college but who never apply. Maybe because they come from a family where it's not within the realm of experience, maybe because they think they can't pay for it. And we had a really aggressive program this year to get those students who could be successful to apply. They did. In fact, every high school senior in Delaware who was on track to graduate, who based on their SATs, it was determined could be successful in college, did apply this year, and we're excited about that. But we're also excited. We realize that college is not for everybody. And so we're doing really significant work as well to provide more students with opportunities when they're young to get exposure to the workplace, and that's also very important.
And that is helping them when they're young builds a foundation, and I guess kind of helps them along in their career in school.
Well, it does. And I just visited recently with a number of students. They happened to go to William Penn, and I met a bunch of others who went to either McCain or Dickinson. But Del Castle was participating as well in a program collaboration with Delaware Tech, where these high school juniors and seniors were learning about building electrical items and learning about manufacturing and learning some of the soft skills about how to apply for a job and how to dress for success and these kinds of things, how to look somebody right in the eyes and shake their hand and be respectful. And these kids were terrific, and they were really appreciative of this opportunity, and it just makes it more and more likely that they'll find job opportunities themselves.
Delaware has changed since I've been down here for 16 years now, and it's really changed a lot. And I guess you have some accomplishments that you're really proud of, right?
Well, certainly. I mean, yeah. I think, but it's never, for any politician, it should never be about them. I mean, the only thing that matters is whether we're making life better for the people who live in our state. And so for us, it's really very simple. It's about creating more job opportunities. And we have, in fact, over the last 16 months, every month for the last 16 months, job growth in Delaware has been better than it has been across the country. Our unemployment rates come down, not far enough, but we're making certainly good progress. It's about continuing to improve our schools, working with the very talented educators across the state to continue to improve schools, and recognizing that we have some issues. For example, we've put some proposals forward on criminal justice reform, recognizing that there are a lot of people who are behind bars who perhaps could be better off and really not a danger to society if they were out and productive and employed and the like. We spend an awful lot of money, $270 million a year, on correction in the state. We've got we have an incarceration rate that's higher than the national average in a country whose incarceration rate is is higher than the world average. But that doesn't necessarily make us safer, so we have to be a lot smarter about how we spend that money.
Governor, I have to ask you this. How do you work to convince the folks downstate that Wilmington is worth investing in by the state? I think people understand. I mean, Wilmington certainly, the state's biggest city by a pretty significant margin, the center of much of our commerce, and I think people understand that to have a strong Delaware, we need to have a strong Wilmington, just as we need to have a strong, Dover and other cities as well. Now, before you go, I want to make sure people are clear about the scholarship program. Mm-hmm. So the scholarship program, what do folks need to do if they have kids that are in schools that are interested in finding out about it?
So we expect every high school in the state come November will have a college application month where the counselors will be prepared to work with kids. Last year we had hundreds of volunteers from across the state who sat down with students as they filled out their college application form, and they sat down with families as they filled out the financial aid forms. So it's important for families to recognize that assistance is available. and we just need to continue to do a better job of making sure they have access to that information.
And the great thing for everybody to remember about the revitalization projects in all the cities in Delaware.
Yeah, we're excited about the potential. And this is a wonderful state, a great state. I've met a lot of people, for example, who have moved here from other places, maybe Pennsylvania. A lot of people coming from New Jersey because of the lower taxes and the quality of life.
That is true.
It's very true. Even though that's a nice state too, but a lot of people coming here from throughout the region and around the country, recognizing all that we have to offer.
Well,
here.
you can laugh because I told you that I tell everybody that Delaware is a great place to live because of what? What did I tell you?
Well, the
taxes
you mentioned
and your
the
money goes further.
Yeah, and the quality of life.
Yeah,
it's a wonderful place.
You made me laugh at that. He's coughing over
I
there.
know he is.
Listen.
I was trying to get him to cough.
You did. It's going to fall out now and start flopping on the floor. So before you go, if anybody wanted to find out more about the initiatives that you have going on out of the office, or they wanted to send you ideas or anything, what could they do?
So the governor's office phone number is 577-3210, 577-3210. And if they go to the governor.delaware.gov, governor.delaware.gov, there's a place there where they can get in touch with us as well.
Okay, I'm so glad you came on.
Me too, thank you.
Are you going to come back again?
Absolutely.
Really?
I will.
I'm going to hold you and Kelly
All right.
to that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, information on enrolling your children in the new community education building after these messages.